Mahmoud Khalil, a prominent figure during the Gaza war protests at Columbia University in the spring of 2024, has drawn global attention after the Trump administration arrested and moved to deport him. The case has raised questions about free speech on college campuses and the legal process that would allow for the deportation of a U.S. permanent resident. Mr. Khalil will remain in detention in Louisiana following a court hearing on Wednesday, where lawyers argued over whether he should be moved back to New York. Born in Syria, the Columbia graduate's arrest by immigration agents was linked to President Donald Trump's promise to crack down on student demonstrators he accuses of un-American activity. Trump has repeatedly alleged that pro-Palestinian activists, including Mr. Khalil, support Hamas, a group designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. The president argues these protesters should be deported and called Mr. Khalil's arrest the first of many to come. The 30-year-old's lawyers say he was exercising free speech rights to demonstrate in support of Palestinians in Gaza and against U.S. support for Israel. They accuse the government of open repression of student activism and political speech. Khalil's work for UK and Middle East born in Syria to Palestinian refugees, Mr. Khalil earned a degree in computer science from the Lebanese American University before working with the Syrian-American nonprofit Jusur. More recently, he managed the Syria Chevening program for the British Embassy in Beirut, offering scholarships for study in the UK, according to his biography on the Society for International Development website. The UK Foreign Office said Mr. Khalil stopped work there more than 2 years ago. Mr. Khalil moved to the U.S. in 2022, where he earned a master's degree at Columbia University's School of International and Public Affairs. He has since married an American woman who is 8 months pregnant and initially faced arrest threats herself, according to his lawyer. His role in the student protests. Getty Images Columbia University student Mahmoud Khalil talks to the press during the press briefing organized by pro-Palestinian protesters who set up a new encampment at Columbia University's Morningside Heights campus. Getty Images. Mr. Khalil's role in Columbia's 2024 protests placed him in the public eye. On the front lines of negotiations, he played a role in mediating between university officials and the activists and students who attended the protests. Activists supporting Israel have accused Mr. Khalil of being a leader of Columbia University Apartheid Divest, COAD, a student group that demanded, among other things, the university to divest from its financial ties to Israel and a ceasefire in Gaza. Mr. Khalil has denied that he led the group, telling the Associated Press, AP, that he only served as a spokesperson for protesters and as a mediator with the university. After Mr. Khalil's arrest, the Department of Homeland Security accused him of leading activities aligned to Hamas, but did not provide further details. On Tuesday, the White House alleged that he had organized protests where pro-Hamas propaganda was distributed. His lawyers responded that there was no evidence that he had provided support of any kind to U.S.-designated terror groups. They're trying to make an example of him to chill others from making similar speech, Sama Sisai told the AP. Some Jewish students at Columbia have said the protests veered into anti-Semitism and made them feel unsafe on campus. The Columbia Jewish Alumni Association said Mr. Khalil had spent over a year abusing the privileges this country and Columbia gave him. The Trump administration recently cut $400 million in funding to the university over what it said was continued inaction in the face of persistent harassment of Jewish students. Students affiliated with Quad and the protests have rejected these characterizations, and many Jewish students and groups participated in the campus rallies. Columbia was just one college campus that played host to mass student protests over the war in Gaza. And activists say They fear the Trump administration will continue to target protesters who are not U.S. citizens. Legal experts say green card holders can be deported on national security grounds, but add that the case against Mr. Khalil is unprecedented. Targeting individual protesters just for protesting is highly unusual and something that we haven't seen before, even under the first Trump administration, said Jacob Hamburger, a visiting assistant professor at Cornell Law School.